this phone, and I've got my following device. I've got a headache this morning, like you would not believe. It is 1,000 degrees here in St. Louis, Missouri. I cannot regulate the temperature in my house. Get off the table, macaroni. I got the dogs running around. I think today I want to make either gazpacho or some pico de gallo, some salsa, I don't know, but I've got some peppers. I've got some jalapenos. I've got some diced onion. Where's my garlic? My garlic's up there. I've got tomatoes galore. Tomatoes galore. More tomatoes, more tomatoes, more tomatoes, and there must be, I don't know, 25 more green tomatoes out in the yard. More tomatoes. I pulled off 2 more eggplants off the plant this morning. I have more eggplant in the refrigerator. I think maybe later I'm going to make eggplant parmesan. I don't know. I'm trying to stay very active today. House is basically clean other than the dust that I can't keep up with. Like I said, it's like 1,000 degrees. Here in St. Louis, Missouri, the humidity is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what time it is. I did sleep in a little bit this morning. Was on the computer, checked all my stats like any content creator does. Threw myself together. Dogs have been in and out about 40 times. Applied for 2 more brand ambassador type positions. I need $1,200 to fall in my lap this week. Can I do it? I don't know. Can we juggle? That's how I live life. But how are you? What's new? What has been happening? How'd you sleep last night? Because, man, I was dreaming some insane stuff. People, if you can't talk to me in person, will you please stay out of my dreams? That's all I can say. But I don't know. So, see if this thing follows me. Like I said, I've got my device that follows me this morning, and I'm going to be cooking. I've got a massive headache, though. Massive headache from the humidity. I've already taken a Claritin D. Thought I was going to have an asthma attack earlier today, and I've got a little bit left in my Advair inhaler. I'd like to make some cookies. Have you ever made cookies out of your cake mix? It is so good. One year for Christmas I did red velvet cookies from a box mix. You don't know what you're missing until you perfect the cookie thing out of this. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll make bread. I was in the mood for some really, really good Italian bread. I need to get some more coffee, though. Is this thing going to follow me? These devices are absolutely amazing. No makeup this morning either. Sorry. This is what you get on a Saturday morning. I didn't even make my bed this morning because I think I'm going to go lay in it and try to watch something on TV, which I never do. But I feel a 2-hour nap coming on later. Get your coffee. I want to tell you about my demo I did last night. Yeah, I can feel the raspiness in my chest. I might have to go find my inhaler. Is this thing going to follow me? I don't know. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. It's like I feel like it loses me at some point, and it's charged. Do I have to reset it? There we go. Now it will. I think it loses you if it doesn't like get a full visual of you, it turns off, and I don't know why. Not real happy with this one. It's okay. I like my other following device better, but the program completely stopped working, and it was one that came with an app. This is just a yapping content. Y'all seem to like when I blah, 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 and I walk through my house. I've already been on the computer, so we're not doing that this morning. It is warm though. It is extremely hot. Gonna stay very, very comfortable today. But my event last night, I was at the Total Wines and More in Brentwood. That place is so set up. You want to talk about a field trip for adults. I was demoing the Torch THC product, and not very many people liked the THC in it, and I was a little surprised. And I'm always curious to the age of the people. Like, I think that last night, the people, they were a little bit younger, 20s, 30s. And I was like watching what they were getting for their liquor, ciders, all those seltzer drinks. Saw a couple foreign individuals, Modella. I was right by the Schlafly products. I saw one gal grab a pumpkin. Nobody's into fall things yet, and everybody's got all their fall beers out. I did see Shock Top. Shock Top has a pretzel beer, and I'm not a beer drinker, but I love a good pretzel beer. And when O'Fallon went out, the entity that I just came from, I begged my brewers to make a pretzel beer, and they laughed at me. So, like I said, I'm not a big beer drinker, but Shock Top has a pretzel beer, and when I go over to buy wine in a week or two, I'll see if my liquor store over here has it. But man, you want an adult field trip, go over to Total Wines and More. I needed to pick up some Grand Marnier, because I want to do a baked ham over the next couple weeks if I can find a really good one. But they've got all those little liquor sample bottles that I love to use when I'm cooking. Today, though, like I said, I think I'm gonna do some gazpacho. I've got. Let's see if this thing follows me. I'll show you what I bought. Isn't it amazing how it follows? Don't look in the refrigerator because it needs to be cleaned out again. See, I have more eggplants. I just dropped a tomato. I got more tomatoes. Like I said, I think I'm going to do an eggplant parmesan tonight for dinner. But I bought this for Bloody Marys because I was in the mood for a Bloody Mary. The V8. Because I can drink this just without the alcohol. But I thought, okay, let's see if this thing follows me. Come over here, thing. I thought that if I did gazpacho, I could use this in it. I think that would be really good. On a hot day, you need something cool. And I've got a fresh thing of sour cream in there. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm digressing, though, from last night because I was paying attention to what everybody was buying. And I say to the manager last night, because I know what it was like in the food and beverage industry, not having enough staff and not enough revenue coming in to, take care of, to pay for everything. And they had so much staff last night, and they do their own liquor sampling. There was one guy that must have had 40 bottles of wine and tequila open. Not a tequila person. Do like a good margarita every great once in a while, and it's only because of the salt that I like it. And that tangy, sweet and sour kind of thing. I'm not a big tequila drinker at all. But anyway, the person at Total Wines behind his counter had all this wine, and I'm like, oh my God, I could sample every little bit of that wine. And I'm a Pinot Grigio girl. I was a Sauvignon Blanc girl for the longest time, and then all of a sudden I didn't like the taste, and I don't know why. Not a Riesling girl. Riesling is too sweet. And what I do find I don't like anything sweet. The older I've gotten, sugar does this really weird thing to me. And I mean, I've never really had a sweet tooth other than when, like I want to bake cookies or something and I'll eat one or two and that'll be all. But then it goes back to probably why I pay so much attention to my health, because I know how my body acts in regards to certain things. Anyway, again, I'm digressing. So I say to the manager last night, so how's business? He says, well, with liquor, business is always good. He said, we're not as busy as we used to be because it's hot. It's really hot. It's uncomfortable to be drinking liquor when it's 1,000 degrees. And here I'm trying to promote this THC product, which Missouri's about ready to ban because the two Bush brothers, leave it to family and greed to, get into a huge fight over, product. One's got the alcohol and the other one has the THC, and they're, fighting against each other. Anyway, so my crowd last night, they didn't really want any of the THC stuff. So there was another demo person there. Again, this is just yapping content. I'm just keeping you filled in on my ridiculous life right now. There was another demo person there last night, and he worked for a wine demoing thing, and he must have had, they do other liquor too, there must have been 40 other beers that I have never seen in my entire life that he was demoing. And he had asked me, he said, do you want to sample any of these? And I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. I mean, I know who Voodoo Ranger is, and I always thought that was kind of weird. Very, familiar with Goose Island and IPA, which I think IPAs taste like tree bark. But he had all these different beers. And there's, I say Ligon Google, and I know that's not. They've got a really good at Christmas time, their holiday beer, a cranberry ginger that I really, really enjoy. Because it's flavored, it doesn't taste like beer. You got your lagers, you got your pilsners, you got your IPAs, your APAs, you got your dry hops. The girl knows something about beer. But he says to me, the liquor guy demoing the different beers, he says, you need to get a hold of this company that I work for. He said they do private events, and they provide all the liquor, and then you go to these private events. He said he did golf courses this year, he did private parties, and I'm like, I'm in. Where do I sign up? Because I just honestly don't think I can be front of the house in a restaurant anymore. When I was done last night working the demo, I was making sure my fan is still on because I'm hot. And I'm running on window units because the regular AC is out of Freon, and who can afford, that? But anyway, after my demo last night, I go over to the girl that I was working with, my counterpart. She works 2 full-time jobs. She's getting ready to walk from the gig I just left. Trickle down effect, dominoes. Anyway, and so I went over to where she was working and had a shock top and some potato skins because I was craving potato skins. So I'm having this conversation with her, and because she's going to stay in the food and beverage, she's young, she's 30. She's going to, stay, her and her family are getting ready to go to Hawaii for, a few weeks in September. And she had said, she was talking to a bunch of different people, trying to interview, just like I have. And she said the same thing. This is the point I'm getting to. This last job at the last restaurant where I came from, I think it pretty much has ruined a lot of how I feel. And she agreed with how the customer base has changed so much in the restaurant industry. Now, if I can yap you to death here online, think about if I was in front of you and I was trying to force feed you. I mean, that's kind of who I am. And all the years that I bartended, how in the hell do you think I made my money? It's not like I was hanging out, showing maybe this kind of skin, but nothing else. But anyway, this whole last restaurant gig, it pretty much had done both her and I in. So as I was talking to this manager last night about revenue and customers and liquor and trying to figure out what my next move is going to be, praying, $1,200 is going to fall in my lap this week. It's just a really crazy economy that we are living in. And it used to be like when we were going through 2020, liquor sales went through the roof because people were like going insane trying to figure out what the hell was happening. And now that all this stuff is coming out, hello, you should have listened to me when I was talking. So, but anyway, last night, talking to that manager there, him just stating, their business was down too. But I so enjoy going to Total Wines and More to do any of these liquor stores. I mean, I enjoy going to Deerbergs and Schnucks. It's a whole different kind of crowd. And you get a mixed bag of ages and ethnicities and things like that. So I was done a little after 8 there, went and ate and met my friend for an hour and then came home, and I was like exhausted. I mean, there's a reason why I don't like being out at night anymore. It's exhausting. Doesn't help that I'm getting up at 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning because certain people won't stay out of my dreams. But this is where I'm at today. It's hot. This is the outfit of the day. I'm not going to show you a whole lot, but that's the outfit of the day. I don't plan to change. I am clean. Going to nap for about 2 hours probably this afternoon. I'm going to make some either gazpacho or some pico de gallo, something. I'm going to do the eggplant parmesan for dinner. I need to go pick some basil from the garden. My basil, my God, my basil in my flower box out in front, the leaves are like that big. I was thinking about making a pecan pesto. I really need some good olive oil. I've got some good, cooking oil, but I need some really good olive oil. And I have been saving all of my spice jars. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't get rid of anything. In fact, this morning I was looking for the base, this thing that follows me, and I don't know where I put it. For the life of me, I have been tearing my house apart looking for this base for the thing. I don't know where it went. And I have like 2 drawers that I always put something in because my short-term memory, if I don't put it in the same place, I will forget where it is. Well, I cannot find the base to anything for this apparatus. So today, here I'm home. It's hot. I might venture into my pool later. Was trying to move some stuff to the basement this morning. My legs decided they didn't want to work, so something's pressing on a nerve in my back, and when I lay in my pool, it kind of takes that pressure off a little bit. And because it is going to be 1,000 degrees outside, the humidity all week long is going to be brutal here in St. Louis, Missouri. But I want to know, how's the weather where you are? What are you doing to keep up with the heat? They were talking about some polar vortex coming in. I laugh. I dare it to show up now. But how are you sleeping? What are you cooking? How you surviving life? How you been feeling? What you been thinking? I want to know all these things. I have my comments turned off. I'm so sorry. Some people just don't know how to behave when people are going live, and I just can't tolerate it. But I am Kitryn Marie, an artist, writer, speaker, life, and a business coach. Kind of just yapping this morning, trying to stay current with my content creating, keeping you posted on what's going on with the whole job situation. I always come up on the other side, so it's going to be fine. It's just, in the next few weeks. I'm just wondering. And we're going into fall. Okay, let's talk about this. The world and life as we know it always seems to bloom, come back to existence about September. And depending on how hot it is in your area, you just feel better when the weather is cooler and people want to do more things. So I'm hoping with all of these brand ambassador things that I'm applying for, there will be more openings and people will want to just kind of come back to life. And then, we'll go into October and then people will be thinking about, Halloween and Thanksgiving. There's a season to every business. There's a season to every one of our lives. And you just have to kind of adjust to what is the season of this life that you're living in, and are you benefiting from it? That's my big thing. Picking and choosing, being smart, not settling, only compromising if it works for your life. Nobody should have to give up who they are, what they do to be with somebody. Are you paying attention to your body? Are you listening to the things your body is telling you about how you're living your life? And are you willing to change anything in your life to make it work better for you? I talk about all these things in all my classes. And that's the other thing too with teaching at the community college come the end of January. I need that flexibility. I need to be able to pick and choose when I'm going to work, how I'm going to work, and how I'm going to make my money. So if you want to take a painting class, reach out. It's $48 a person, group, minimum 11. I come to you, I bring all the supplies. Imagine me in front of you for 4 hours, painting, showing you how to create your own masterpiece. Maybe you want to learn to write a book. Maybe you got all these stories in your head. Maybe you have recipes that you want to put into a book. I can teach you how to do all that too. Maybe you're just trying to fill in all the missing links in your life and you need to put a vision board together. It's based in life coaching. We talk about where you've been, how you grew up, who were your influences, what were the bad things that were told to you as a child. How did you become what you are today and who did this to you? We talk about all those things. Maybe you got an idea about starting a side hustle and you don't know how to go about that. I can teach you how to do that too. It's really simple. I started my business with nothing. Thoughts, creative endeavors, a voice, and a whole bunch of stories. But I am Kitryn Marie, an artist, writer, speaker, life, and a business coach, published author When He Had Her, available on Amazon. I guess I need to get off this thing and I need to be really active. Got to redirect all the fans because it's really hot in the house. And if I'm going to turn the oven on, I need all the coolness I can in here. But you enjoy your day. Be happy, be blessed, be thankful for everything. Remember, fate turns on a dime and it is up to you to decide what side of the coin you want to be on. Y'all take care. Reach out, kitrynmarie@gmail.com. If you're interested in any of my merchandise, kitryn-marie.printify.me. To learn more about who I am, feel free, Google my name. I believe on the first 5 pages. And then you can go over to my website, kitryn-marie.weebly.com. Y'all take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.